Thanks there to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as he answered his critics today for you, Mikael, because I'm thinking back to last season when against the so-called Big Six, that's when they generally did better. But it was against teams in the bottom half of the table, the non-Big Six sides especially, that they really struggled. This season seems to be the opposite. But today, they got that victory against a top six side.
Yes, today they had to turn up. There was no other way. It has to be a perfect game for them to even hope to create problems to Manchester City. But also we had to point out that City had enough day in the office. A few players, not only Kevin De Bruyne, but some others didn't have the greatest of the game. So critics, they're always going to be there. You know, if they draw the next game, United, the next two games, they don't score goals, critics will be back again. So, like Ole said, it's football. You can't answer the critics all the time. But one thing for sure, when you have this type of performance, you can't let yourself down the next one. So it's been going on for a while. United's been lacking consistency. So this time with a win like this against the top of the team, maybe one of the top team in Europe at the moment, it boosts your confidence. But you have to respond, and if you play a lower team a few days later, it doesn't matter. You have to have the same character, the same confidence, the same positivity, the same self-belief, and the same ingredients. So you can't sit back in the Premier League anymore. It's forbidden. So United knows exactly what they have to do if you want to stay in that race, or at least believe until the end that they can create a problem for Manchester City.
Trophies will make and break a manager, and could be the difference between signing a player or not signing a player. How far away is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer from lifting a trophy as Manchester United head boss for you, Didi? I mean, that they've got the FA Cup, they're in the quarterfinals, they're up against Leicester, they got Milan in the Europa League. You probably think that City are still the favourites and will lift the Premier League trophy, however. So, do you reckon they're going to get something this campaign?
Well, I don't think it's make or break whether they win the Europa League or the FA Cup. As you said, they won't win the Premier League this season. I think it's about being there or thereabouts for the next few years, because United, in my time, you always knew if you beat United over 38 games, you've got a very, very good chance to win the league. And for the last few years, it hasn't been like this. I think this is probably the best spell United is having since Sir Alex left. And they just have to carry on. As Mikael just said, they set the bar very high tonight. And this is what they have to show, or try to show, week in, week out now. If you have a 1 out of 5, 6, 7 games, which is a bit substandard, I think it's acceptable. But I think for the majority of the games, they've got to reach or try to reach the level of performance they had tonight. And if they do that, I think they are on the right path. I think, to be remembered as a proper Manchester United manager, you've got to win the FA Cup or the league, I'd say, or the Champions League. But obviously not in the Champions League anymore. Didi,
I just want to slightly counter that, because they've had multiple semi-final eliminations under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, even this season, against Manchester City at Old Trafford in the League Cup. They haven't been able to get over the line. I mean,
yeah, well, they have to prove that they can do it. The League Cup is a trophy, yes, but I don't think it's a trophy anybody at Manchester United will remember 5 or 10 years. If you win the FA Cup, if you win the league, if you win the Europa League, which gets you in the Champions League, or the Champions League for that matter, I think people will talk about it. So to lose a semi-final against Manchester City, I don't think it's the end of the world. And it was probably a learning curve or a learning path for some of these players, because quite a few of these players probably haven't been in a position like this. And you've got to learn from these games. And but what I saw tonight was very encouraging. And then you have to look at the age of these players. You look at Rashford, you look at Greenwood, James, Martial. These are all pretty young players. And, at the back, they've got some, Wan-Bissaka was excellent. So these guys are all in their early, mid-20s. So I think the future is bright if they keep performing the way they did tonight, and that should be the standard for a Manchester United team, because I think in the last few years I think people were accepted a level of performance which just wasn't Manchester United like. But as I said, with Ole, they look to be on the right path, and I think the future looks a lot brighter than it did a few years ago.
Mikel, what about yourself? The semi-final curse for Manchester United under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. How far away do you feel they are from winning a trophy, from lifting a trophy?
In contrary of a team like Tottenham, I think this is going to be broken. They're going to go further. And at some point they will win, Adam. You learn from failures. And I think in that dressing room, they've got a bunch of players who have a good attitude. They respect the club. They respect what Ole is trying to implement in training. And they believe they can achieve something together. So I'm optimistic. Like Didi was saying, the future is bright. A lot of young players, and they are learning. They are learning from this type of performances because they're winning. But also when you lose a bunch of semi-finals, the next one that comes around, you're going to change that cycle, like they did tonight. They stopped City from progressing and not doing 22 wins in a row. And I think they will do that at some point in the Europa League or the FA Cup this season.